Snap out of it. Stop thinking your vote doesn't matter and doesn't affect our community. This November, truth is, we need everyone to vote. Fill out your ballot early and return it before November 7th. Then text your family and friends that their vote matters and remind them to get up, get out, and be a voter. A message from the League of Women Voters of Snohomish County.
Welcome to the League of Women Voters of Snohomish County Forum for Candidates for Stanwood-Camano School District Director, Districts 3 and 4. I'm Valerie Cole-Kelly, a member of the League. This forum is being live streamed to our League YouTube channel. To those in the virtual space, thank you for joining us. Let me provide some background on the position. School district directors set policies on curriculum and make decisions on books, dress codes, and disciplinary actions. They hire superintendents, set district budgets, and work with teachers, administrators, parents, and community members to support all aspects of K-12 education. Candidates for Stanwood-Camano School District Director are Miranda Evans and Brittany Trammell, District 3, and Stephen Hendrickson and Betsy Foster, District 4. Brittany Trammell is not participating in the forum. Please note that a forum with candidates for District 5 was held during the primary election and can be found on our website. It is the policy of the League to be nonpartisan. Therefore, we neither endorse nor oppose candidates or parties. The rules for participation in this forum were sent ahead of time to all candidates. I will pose the questions and will clearly state the amount of time allowed for each answer. We are using a countdown timer visible to all candidates, and time limits on answers will be strictly enforced. I will change the starting order for each question, alternating candidates in the starting position to ensure a fair sequence. The order for the first question will be Miranda Evans, then Betsy Foster, then Stephen Hendrickson. Let's begin. Candidates will have 2 minutes to respond to this first question. Ms. Evans, your question is, what are the major issues you feel need to be addressed by this office? Please explain why you are focusing on these issues. 2 minutes.
Thank you very much, Valerie. I appreciate that. The focus of my term as a school board director previously and then upcoming are the same. Communication. I think communication between the school and all of the stakeholders is paramount, right? The trust and support of our community is how we have a successful district. As a board director, like our job is to be a bridge between all of our community and our stakeholders and the district, right? Be out in the community, be heard, not as somebody's teacher, but as somebody that represents the community. So transparency, communication is my key there. I also think that just transparency in general, right? I think we've come a long way in a district and just continuing to be transparent in all the things that we do, welcoming community feedback, bringing in all of the stakeholders, not just parents, but our community as a larger group into our decisions, and what we're doing is a primary focus from the board perspective. I'm not going to use my whole 2 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Evans. Ms. Foster, same question.
Okay, can you hear me? All right, so thank you. I have 3 priorities this go around, and one is I would like academic success for all the students. I would also like a good stewardship of our tax dollars. And lastly, accountability, transparency, and possibly most important is safety for the children and the teachers, anyone involved in the system. So ask me the question again.
Why are you focusing on these issues?
Okay, well, I think my primary concern is that I think we're failing the children. I think my understanding is that 41% of the people that are graduating cannot read. 61% can't do math. I find that very disconcerting. So, and I went to Stanwood High School in 1979. That's when I graduated. I got here in 76, started at the middle school, and I had a great education. I had a foreign language, I played tennis, got scholarships, and I learned enough that I could either go to college or do a tech school. I could read, I could write, and I knew science. I knew the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, civil rights, history. I think we need to get back to the core curriculum. That's my utmost goal. And I think we need to focus more on the children and their learning experience, possibly in the afternoon. I got bored in high school, honestly. So had they had an opportunity that I could go work with somebody as an apprentice and get credit for that, I would have embraced that, because school isn't for everybody, but you don't want people to drop out. And you certainly want them to have the life skills required to keep a job, do math, think critically, and be good members of society, contributing members of society.
Great, thank you. Mr. Hendrickson, same question. Would you like it repeated? What are the major?
No, I'm good. Thank you, Valerie.
Okay.
So the major issues that I would be looking at as a school board member, just real quick, parent involvement, facilities, and what I referred to as basics. To go over those is parent involvement. I believe that in order for, I have my notes over here, so I'm kind of looking off to the side, but parent involvement revolves around the parents receiving accurate information. And I believe that the teachers need to be able to know that they can speak candidly with the parents. I think that needs to take place. They need to be able to talk to these parents about issues that are concerning their kids. And then facilities, taking care of our existing equipment, our buildings that were built using taxpayer funds is extremely important. It's paramount. We need to take care of what we have if we want to have trust with the public, with our taxpayers. And then the basics, just making sure that students feel comfortable and safe in the area that they're in. They need to be comfortable in their surroundings so that they can concentrate on getting an education, and so they can concentrate on becoming productive members of society, which is in my opinion, should be the ultimate goal of the school district, is to provide an education and raise up productive members of society. So I'm not going to use my whole 2 minutes either.
Thank you.
Short and sweet.
Thank you. So candidates will have 90 seconds for the next few questions. Timer, please adjust the clock. Question number two, and we'll start with you this time, Ms. Foster. What qualifications and experience make you a good choice to address these issues? Again, 90 seconds, and Ms. Foster, we'll start with you.
All right, thank you. So like I said, I graduated from high school. I had a great experience. I think it's time for me to give back. I have a lot of free time. I'm a self-employed real estate agent, so I can attend all of the meetings and make them my priority. I think it's going to take a lot longer than 2 hours a month to do a thorough job. I think there's a lot to embrace and learn. So in 1981, I finished in 79. In 1980-81, I went up to Skagit Valley College, and I was the first woman president, which is kind of a fun fact, since 1926 at Skagit Valley College, and sat on the board there. And then I went to Western. I got a degree in psychology. And And I was ready to go to work. And having finished, like I said, Stanwood, I could have gone to a trade school or college, but I was well prepared to go to college, and that was my intent. So I think that prepares me. I think 40 years of paying taxes in the area, I've been here for 50. I don't think it's unreasonable for us to see, where those are being allocated. And I'm like Steve, I'm particularly concerned with the curriculum, and I just want to learn more about it. I do want more parental involvement. I would prefer the meetings are held in kind of a small place. I think we ought to try to encourage more parents that want to have a voice to come in and express themselves. That's important. They're their children. Yeah.
Okay, and Mr. Hendrickson, you're next. What qualifications and experience make you a good choice for this position?
Okay, so I believe that my qualifications are, I have kids in the school district. I have kids, I have 4 children. They have gone from pre-K down at Stanwood Elementary School all the way up through high school and the alternative school. I currently have a child in elementary school out at Hutzelati in the assist program. And my oldest graduated from Lincoln High School 2 years ago. So I also have 2 kids at SMS. So I also have worked at Stanwood School District, or Stanwood-Camano School District, sorry. I've also worked there in the maintenance department, and I currently work in another school district in a maintenance department. I know what goes on in the schools. I see what happens in the classrooms. I see what the teachers are dealing with. I see what the staff members are dealing with. Things change when an administrator walks into the building. Things change when an administrator is sitting in the back of the classroom supervising. Things do not change when the maintenance guy walks in and is standing back there working on stuff. I know what takes place in the classrooms, and I speak to people on a regular basis, and I know what they are dealing with in the classrooms and how they feel like their hands are tied.
Thank you. Ms. Evans, same question.
Thank you. I've been on the board for 4 years. That has been a really trying 4 years. The pandemic came about right as I got on the board. It was definitely a trial by fire, right? I think being on the board during the pandemic made me flexible, really open-minded when it comes to problem solving and viewing situations that nobody's really ever seen before, and coming up with solutions that are best for our students, right? I also graduated from Stanwood High School. I don't like to talk about how long ago, so we won't go there. But I did graduate from Stanwood. My entire family lives here in the Stanwood area. All of my nieces and nephews, as well as my own 2 children, go to the school here. I am a very committed person in our community. I do tons of things with the booster clubs, the PTOs, all of those fun things. I agree, it is a little different when you have an administrator in, but when you're just there as Emily's mom or Clara's mom, you get a different version. So I think just having all of those pieces and being committed and being in the buildings makes me a great person and qualified for this position.
Thank you. Okay, next question. 90 seconds for this one as well. Recent reports indicate that 39% of students in the district are meeting or exceeding grade level in math, 51% in science. What suggestions do you have for improving the academic performance of students in these areas? Again, 90 seconds. And Mr. Hendrickson, you are first for this question.
Okay, I believe that this weaves in with question 1. I think that parents need to be involved. They need to have the proper information to be involved. They need to get the truth from the teachers and the administrators. I think that along with that, that's where the teachers need to know that they can communicate with the parents and the guardians and the students. And they need to know that the students are going to be held accountable. The students need to know that they are going to be held accountable. And the students and parents need to know that they can hold the district accountable also. If a student is feeling that their learning environment is being impeded by actions in the classroom, behaviors in the classroom, that type of thing, they need to know that they can rely on the school district to remedy that situation. I believe that we need to allow these kids to get back to being in class to learn, and it needs to be an environment that allows them to learn. I don't really think that that's happening right now. I think that there's a lot of students that are uncomfortable and feeling left behind because of the actions that take place in the classroom, and no repercussions for those actions.
Thank you. Ms. Evans, same question.
Yeah, I think that the school district's focus of building out our teaching and learning department over the last couple of years, as well as implementing our strategic plan, like building and implementing our strategic plan over the last couple of years, are the stepping stones that we need in order to move forward for the academic greatness and being the great district that I think we are. This year, the focus on like professional development for our staff is a building block that we need. Providing the professional development, having our staff viewed as lifetime learners, and they can take that learning and pass that on to our students. I think that that is key. So again, I think just building out our teaching and learning department, really emphasizing that those are priorities for us, a focus on professional development for our staff that are in our classes every day on what are the best practices for getting, like, delivering that curriculum and that learning to our students. I think that that's key, following our strategic plan that we've put in place and making sure that we're hitting all of the targets.
Thank you. Ms. Foster. Oops, we're on mute.
Okay, thank you. I think those numbers are abysmal. I think they're embarrassing. I think we're doing a disservice to our children who are our future. I mean, something needs to change, and we need to deep dive into exactly what are they being taught and who decides what they're taught. Again, it comes back to parental involvement. The family, the nuclear family, is actually the purest form of governance known to mankind. So the parents really need a way bigger say in what's going on. And I think we need transparency. We need to access every place in that school with security if we need it and know exactly what is going on. I don't think that's unreasonable. And I think the kids want to learn. I've met a lot of kids, and they just warm my heart, and they embrace me. And I think we're doing them a disservice. They deserve better. So, and like, they need skill sets. I know a lady that graduated recently. She got a job at a local restaurant, and the bill was as a waitress, the bill was $2.73. The guy gave her $3 and she took out a calculator. To me, that's just completely unacceptable. So there you have it. In a nutshell, that's my position.
Thank you. Okay, next question. How do you prioritize budget needs? What do you weigh first when making budget decisions? This question is 90 seconds, and Ms. Evans, we're back to you for the first answer.
Thank you. Budget needs, those are tough, right? Everybody wants to make sure that we're doing the best that we can. Obviously, passing levies, things like that are key to providing that budget to our schools. When I think about things that we need to focus on when we're making a budget, is what are the students not going to notice? How do we keep that as far away from the classroom as possible? What changes can we make? What can we do that are not going to impact our students? And I think that that's the key right there, is keeping it as far away from our students and our classrooms as possible when we are making those decisions.
Thank you. Ms. Foster, budget. Oops, you're on mute. Sorry.
Thank you. I look forward to learning more about that budget. It's $112 million. The school gets $20,000 a kid, roughly. And we need to prioritize. And the first order of business is to see what is going to help these kids learn core curriculum. So that would be the first place I would want to see. What do we need to do to get back to basics and help these kids? In terms, I just think I have a lot to learn. I may not know everything. I know, but I will be a hard worker. And so I will find out where this money's going. And I'd be happy to be a member of the community. I already am, and interface with parents, teachers, admin. I'm really excited to learn more about it, honestly. And it runs in my blood. So I'm very excited to help.
Thank you. Mr. Hendrickson, budget.
Okay. So how do you prioritize budget needs? What do you weigh first when making budget decisions? Just on a very basic level, number one, are we holding to our duty to be fiscally responsible with the taxpayer dollar? And then number two, is it lawful and following our responsibility, fulfilling our responsibility to our students? That is how I would approach each budget discussion. And when looking at where money's going, the requests, all of that kind of stuff, I think those are the main gatekeepers that need to be looked at. There's because an argument can be made for all kinds of how different things fit into different areas of the school, but I believe that those are the two main criteria that we need to meet to get something included in the budget.
Thank you. Okay, next question. What criteria, please note that candidates that there will be 60 seconds for these next few questions, 60 seconds. The next question is, what criteria should be applied when determining curriculum content in this district? 60 seconds. And Ms. Foster, you'll begin this time.
Okay. I think the curriculum, we need more parental involvement. I just think we have a complete disconnect with that. So I'm trying to recall the question. What criteria should be applied? I think we should start at least, meeting or exceeding state standards in the core curriculum classes, civics, Bill of Rights, history, science. All of those things are so important to have a well-rounded person with some social skills ready to go out into the workforce. So I would focus mostly on the children and how to help them.
Great, thank you. Mr. Hendrickson, your thoughts? I
think when we're looking at curriculum, we have set curriculum currently that we've already purchased and is in our hand. I think any new curriculum, we need to decide, is it necessary? We are making budget cuts. The school district is not necessarily in the black right now. I think they've done a good job this year bringing it into where we need to be in order to be in the black. But I think we need to decide is it necessary. We need to see what's the benefit of the new curriculum versus our existing curriculum. Is it so the kids can access it electronically? Is it more of an ease of grading type of thing? Are we trying to streamline? I think that's one of the biggest issues, trying to figure out why we need the curriculum.
Thank you. Ms. Evans.
Thanks, Valerie. I believe we have a healthy and robust team made up of stakeholders from our community that is open for more stakeholders that want to participate in that team, that review any curriculum suggestions that we have to make sure that it is robust, it meets our state standards, and it meets our student needs, right? I'm confident that we have professionals, and I'm confident in their opinions and their recommendations that they make to us as the board, in regards to any additional curriculum or curriculum changes that we have.
Thank you. Next question. What considerations should be made in responding to a request to ban a book from the school library or curriculum? Again, you'll have 60 seconds, and Mr. Hendrickson, we'll start with you this time.
Okay, so I've been asked this previously also, kind of took me off guard, but I'm not a fan of book banning. But I also think that with age comes maturity, and there should be age restrictions on access to certain types of material at younger ages. If a parent, educator, and a student agree that a book is appropriate for that specific student, then I don't think that it should be banned from campus. I do think that we should limit those books in the younger public school libraries, so that way that decision can be made by the parents, the child, and the educator that's involved with that child. It shouldn't just be free reign for somebody to go in there and check out a book having to do with more mature subject matter.
Thank you. Ms. Evans.
Thank you. I don't believe in book banning at all. I don't think that it is the community's job to say what my children or anybody else's children could or should be able to read. There is a huge difference between the criteria of what is housed in a library versus what is part of a curriculum. I think that if somebody's student wants to read a book from the library, that is a decision between that student and their parent. I would be upset if I was comfortable in my student reading a book and somebody else decided that they shouldn't read it. So I don't think that it's my job to say that for anybody else's student. I think that appropriateness or age appropriateness or whatever that is between the student and the parent. And again, it's not my job to say that. If you have an issue, you can always review everything. You can make requests. Just not my thing.
Thank you. Ms. Foster.
Hello. Well, I am completely against banning books. I can't even believe we have that in our vernacular with the high school. They have to be age appropriate. You know, I mean, kids are reading things that you're not even allowed to read until you're 18 years old. And that's my understanding. They have to be age appropriate. And again, it comes back to who's making these decisions on the curriculum, in my mind. And I don't want to, should I mention that we might have missed a question?
Did you miss a question?
About equity and inclusion and I don't know.
We don't, we have to drop that question personally. Sorry.
Okay. I just want to be sure I didn't forget. So I don't believe, I mean, it seems pretty Orwellian if we're talking about banning books. And I think it's important that we have real books that you open up, you can smell them, you can read them and imagine them. I just think they're way too valuable to ever think about doing anything like that, but they must be age appropriate.
Thank you. Okay. Next question. Again, we'll have 60 seconds. Please tell us something about your life experience that might surprise or intrigue voters. And again, 60 seconds. And Ms. Evans, it's your turn to start again.
Thank you. So I graduated from Stanwood High School. I went to Gonzaga University where I met my husband who was in the Air Force. I've lived in Indiana. I've lived in Colorado. We've really moved around. I think that with my experience of experiencing or living in other communities, I think that coming back to my hometown where I grew up gives me a perspective of open-mindedness and flexibility that are really needed on the school board to be that liaison, to be that listening, those ears and the soundboard for our community. I'm approachable, people to stop me in the QFC, all of the things. So I think that just my life experience, having lived other places, is immensely valuable to this role.
Thank you. Ms. Foster.
I hope I'm not a troublemaker. Anyway, I think I have a lot of experience in terms of this $112 million budget. I've been in sales all of my life since college, and I've handled multi-million-dollar budgets and allocated them for my husband's business, my business. And I think I need a lot of experience, but I have a lot of living experience. And I have everything. Everybody has a voice. So, and everybody should be heard. I guess a fun fact would be, when I was in high school, I did pick chickens over at Draper Valley in Stanwood. So, you know, it's been a good experience here. And I'm, like I say, still again, excited to be involved in this.
Thank you. Mr. Hendrickson.
So never in a million years did I think that I would run for public office, let alone a school board. The reason I'm doing this is because I made a commitment to my daughter when she was born, and suffered a brain injury, that I would be her advocate. This is my way of doing that. I can be an advocate for my daughter, for my boys, for our friends and our neighbors. I have life experience. I graduated from Lake Stevens. I went to the Marine Corps, moved up here. I've been a plumber for 20 years, and I've worked in the school districts for 7. So I'm around. I coach sports. I talk to people constantly around Stanwood-Camano Island. So I guess that's what you wouldn't know or surprise you is I was a prison guard when I was in the Marine Corps.
Thank you. Okay, that brings us to the end of our forum. The League thanks these candidates for joining us and for running for office. A recording of this forum and others will be available on the League of Women Voters of Snohomish County website and YouTube channel. Find links at lwvsnoho.org, lwvsnoho.org. We encourage you to explore additional information about these and all candidates. Vote411.org, sponsored by the League, is another good source of information. The Snohomish County voter pamphlet will be mailed starting October 18th, and ballots will be mailed starting October 19th. Election Day is November 7th. Please be a voter. Thank you to our League Candidate Forum team, and special thanks to Dave Moon and the Sultan School students at TurkPride.tv who made this live stream possible. And of course, thank you all for joining us. This concludes our Candidate Forum.